tutorial for Kano's Ripper variation. Basically, it's Kano, and he's just a straight-up grappler in this variation. I do think it's an effective variation that he has. I wouldn't say it's his best one, but it is still effective, you know, for sure. I'd probably say it's probably his second best out of his three that he has. But, yeah, like, Kano is basically... You play Kano basically like you do in all three variations. Constantly in his face, in your opponent's face, putting pressure on him. You know, basically, in this variation, Kano has command grab, which is basically, you know, down, back, forward, two. That right there. Now, that move alone is what you're going to want to use as much as possible. Now, typically what you want to do is when you're playing this variation is that command grab can be used in a numerous different ways. You can get it off of down one, or down one, down three. Let's see, go here, block, 1-1, or sorry, 1-1. You can get it off of 2-4, but let me 2-4.
I'll jump you, Dill.
That's how you want to play Kano. Doing that is gonna open up your opponent to not block so much, and once you do that, then you can really start putting in some serious damage on your opponent, because after you start getting your opponent conditioned to the command grab using the tick throws, then they won't be so reserved in that regard. So then what you can do is, since you can get the command grab off of 2-4, then you can go for Kano's combos. You can go 2-4, amplified, 4-2, command grab.
I'll jump you, Dill.
Now, the command grab can be amplified. As you can see, I'm gonna show you. It can be amplified to get even more damage. That's how you typically want to end your combos as much as possible with the command grab. Also, you can get the command grab off of 4-2 low scoop. To that, you want to use that too. Also, if your opponent is ducking a lot as well, like for instance, let me go to duck like this. You can also use Kano's 4-4, which is a overhead like that basically hits the opponent overhead, knocks him down, and Kano will kick him twice too, as you can see. Oops. Oh, I'm sorry. It's 4-4-3. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Sorry. That's what you want to use too, because that right there will make the opponent stand, and when they stand, you can put pressure on them, and you can come in and try to implement the command grab throw game. Also, Kano has a parry that he can do, which is really good for the poke game. So like if you and your opponent are in the neutral and you poke, once you poke, you go into the parry and your opponent will get hit by it. Let me see. Let me show you. Versal attack. Yeah, let's do a throw. So if I go, really good for exchanging pokes. Your opponent, especially if your opponent's really anxious to poke you back, it'll get them every time. Also, Kano has his 2-2, 1-3, which is basically you can end this string in an overhead. It's a mid into an overhead. Like this. That's good for ending strings as well. You can also meter burn this one too, so you can go 2, 2. Like that. So ideally, what you would want to do is you could do this combo string right here with Kano. That right there. That's a good way to end strings as well. Obviously, it doesn't give you the most damage, but that's what you want to be after is the damage. It's a good ender, but you obviously want to try to use the command grab as much as possible in this variation. Also, Kano's got his 4-3, which is basically a really good low hitter that can go underneath high projectiles, which is really good. He also has his back 4, which is a really good space controller. If your opponent tries to come in, you can hit him with that to check him. Also, Kano has the Kano ball. Right? He also has the air Kano ball. You can meter burn it. Meter burn both ones. Then Kano has crushing blows off of both, or not anymore, but he used to have crushing blows off both of his throws. So let me show you how those look. Yeah, that's how you like want to really want to get that right there when you're playing this variation. I mean, to get one of those is, oof, man, does wonders. The thing about this variation, though, is, like, it's really all about the grabs. And the problem is, if your opponent, especially at the high level, from what I've seen from, like, pro players, is, like, grabbing is very dangerous in this game. All because of, you can either whiff it, or you can get down to. That's why I would say this variation is not as good as Kano's other two, because there's actually nothing in this variation as well that keeps Kano safe except his 1-1-2. That keeps him safe, right? But other than that, that's really it. He has to like be in your face, grabbing you like a ton almost, just to like really be effective, and that's really dangerous. So I think with him, you have to do a lot of like hard reads when you're playing him. Like for instance, Kano's quickest move, he can get in on the opponent without being in total danger, would be his forward 1. Because Kano is +1 on this move right here. So even if he does it, the opponent, he can either poke Kano, but since Kano is +1, if you read it properly, he can flawless block it, or he has enough time to block the poke, and then it's his turn again. So this is basically a good move you want to use a lot when you're playing Kano, just in general. He also has, from that move right there, he can also do forward 1, 2, back 2. So it'll be 1, to the hard knockdown, which is it's a good string, but the problem is that second hit that Kano does is a high. So if the opponent knows that string, or if they read it properly, they can interrupt that string every time. That's why you have to be careful when you try to do that string, is because you'll get punished, especially at the pro level. You'll get punished every time. But Kano is, like I said, one of those characters. He's grab heavy. He wants to, grab as much as possible in this variation, because that's how he's gonna, get his damage, be really effective. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad variation. It's just one of those variations where you got to make really hard reads. and everything. Like from what I've seen at the pro level, I've only seen like one person get pretty far, and that's Biohazard. Other than that, I haven't really seen Kano at the tournament scene a lot. But I do think this variation is still pretty good. I think you can get catch a lot of people off guard, especially if they don't know. Because in general, no one really picks Kano in Mortal Kombat. They just don't. So I think you can probably catch a lot of people off guard when you're playing Kano just in general. They don't know his strings or how people play with them. But yeah, that's pretty much Kano in a nutshell for this variation. If you guys like this video, just leave a like and subscribe. Gonna be putting out another tutorial of Kano and Rat Bag, which basically is he has Optic Blast and he has Snake Bite. But I'll be putting that out here pretty soon. Just stay tuned. But yeah, peace out, guys.